special live edition of Friedman Adventures. We're going to go up to the Channel Islands to my good friend Daniel Hadawi, captain of the Island Spirit, and see what he's up to for the coming days. Daniel, good morning, man. It's not early, usually early that I talk to you. It's usually in the afternoon.
I know. Good morning, Phil. How you guys doing? Weather's pretty rough today, so it's nice to have a day off. We all got to sleep in today and ready to get back at it tomorrow.
Yeah, I knew it was rough when Tucker canceled. I mean, he'll go out in a gale. It seems like, and canceled last night. He had a trip with Eddie Berrigan, and they decided to throw the towel in. So we took a
Yeah,
day off. But I looked at the weather forecast, and it doesn't get any nicer than it's going to be the next couple of days for sure.
yeah. Today's definitely a little poopy, but look, I looked from Thursday to like Monday, Tuesday next week. It's pretty much as good as it gets. So really looking forward to having some nice weather coming up here.
All right. Well, let's look to the past to look to the future because if we look to the past, I think we'll figure out what was biting before we had this little weather blip. What was going
Yeah,
on? What do you anticipate for tomorrow and the subsequent days?
yeah. Well, got really clean water all over the place. Water's warm as well. Had good rock fishing yesterday. And the previous days before that, barracuda was all over the place. Bass is starting to bite really good. Um, Picking at some halibut as well while we're bass fishing. Caught a sea bass, hooked a few more. Just a lot of stuff going on. Looks like we have really good fishing right now.
Hey, Daniel, it just dawned on me. We know why clean water is a good thing, but for the guy that's new to the sport, you say the water's really clean. Why is that important?
Just kind of, excuse me. Um, well, first of all, the fish are it kind of points to like what the conditions are like. A lot of times when you have that super clean water, got a lot of bait, the fish can see the bait. They're eating a lot more. Uh, Seems like the calico bass are spawning in this cleaner, warmer water as well. See all those fish are you know, super lively, following other fish up when they're hooked. You can see the bottom when you're fishing. It's kind of we were actually seeing halibut when we were fishing the other day in that like 3-4 fathom water.
Oh, are you kidding,
Uh,
man? You see him sitting
yeah, we
there?
were fly lining baits in the stern, and someone with a rent rod dropped right next to me, and their sinker hit the bottom, and you just see like this commotion, and it looked like two halibut just kind of like got scared and just like scurried away. You just like
That's
see it
freaking
at the
awesome.
stern.
That is
So
so awesome.
yeah, always cool to see stuff like that. And definitely got a lot more bites on that bass in the last few days. Been kind of fishing the same zones and maybe catching like 5, 6, 7 on an anchor job, but now it's like becoming like 20, 30, 40 bites. So fishing's getting a lot better.
I'm happy to hear that. Wilfredo Segovia says, "Good morning, Phil. Excited for what you have to say today, going on the Highliner tonight. Hey, have a great trip on the Highliner. Both Daniel and I wish you the very, very best. Go down there and probably hit those kelp patty yellowtail with Fredo. Those things are biting good down there. So you should have a great trip, and hopefully you'll do that. So we've got bass starting to bite. You had a sea bass the other day, also, didn't you?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And we hooked a few more. It was definitely wanting to bite a little bit, so hopefully we get more of that in the near future here.
And we can always rely on the rockfish and the Channel Islands. Man, it's just always so steady, so good. And I imagine you'll be able to fall back on that or just fish a combo kind of trip if you want to.
Yeah, yesterday we went rock fishing first because we didn't have the best bait. We didn't have any sardine, and our anchovy was like really tiny, like two eyes and a wiggle. So I wasn't super optimistic about being able to, you know, kill the bass and fly line a bunch of baits. So we did some rock fishing before we tried to catch anything else really, and yeah, it was like as good as it gets. We got done on cod in like an hour and a half. So rock fishing was super good yesterday.
Beautiful. Hey, just to back your bait up, I mean, I anticipate you're going to have good bait here in the future, but
Yeah.
what kind of lures would I bring with me? Those split tails? Is that something I would like to have just in case?
Yeah. Guys are catching the bass left and right on those flukes, the same flukes that we use for like halibut fishing and sea bass fishing. like a 7-inch white split tail fluke. Those work really good. Um, Surface irons. Seems like the Taddy 45 is a good jig to have right now. You can also bring any kind of barracuda jig you have, like guys that fish like spoon jigs on spinning reels and stuff, and they're swinging them over left and right on that as well. So doesn't seem like they're very picky. Any kind of surface iron that you can get out far away from the boat and bring in with like a medium slow retrieve, you're gonna catch barracuda with it.
Yeah, I guess what you mean by a spoon jig is like something you pick up at Kmart or something like that for $3. It's
Yeah,
working, right?
yeah, it'll work. Those barracuda are not very picky when they're biting.
And they're sure fun to catch. And
Yeah.
also, the point that we need to make, you guys ice those fish immediately. They go on ice. They're really a good eating fish when you take good care of them like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Super clean white meat. Me and my cousin cooked some up the other day, and he couldn't tell the difference between barracuda and sea bass. The first time he came fishing with me, he didn't want to keep barracuda because he said it wasn't good to eat. But we, I made some for him and told him it was a sea bass sandwich, and he loved it. And afterwards, we told him it was actually barracuda.
Oh my god, that's freaking hilarious. I still want to get these guys, some of these guys who swear to me that bokashi is the
Yeah,
worst tasting fish they've ever had. I definitely want to get them in a taste and put I there's no freaking way, man. There's no way you can tell the difference between a
no.
piece of boccaccio and some other rockfish. Is there? Am I nuts?
No, it's just like it's just something that people hear and then they repeat because they think they're cool. Like, oh, I'm too
I
cool to
swear to
keep a
God.
Picasso. Oh, I'm too cool for a barracuda. But if you cook a piece of vermilion and a piece of Boccaccio, nobody can tell the difference. It's the same thing.
Right. I mean, you freaking. I'm gonna get the guys that think boccaccio tastes like crap out there mad at me.
Mhm.
You hit the nail on the head when you say they think they're cool by saying that because it's
Yeah,
it's kind of what it is, man.
yeah. It's just like just repeating what they hear someone else say that they think that person's cool. So they're like, oh, Joe thinks that barracuda are gross and have worms, so I'm just gonna repeat that too. So, but it's not true, and they don't have worms. I mean, you want to talk about worms?
Yeah, let's hear
I
it.
think the warmiest fish in the ocean is halibut, but I've never
Right.
seen anybody throw a halibut back or say that halibut is gross or anything like that. But they have the most. I've seen like me personally, like when I was cutting fish, the most worms I've ever seen were in halibut. But I've never heard anybody complain about that. And halibut's a great eating fish, probably the best eating fish that we have in our ocean,
I agree.
in my opinion. And you cook it, it's totally good to eat, and nobody ever says anything about it.
I know, and nobody ever mentions. Correct me if I'm wrong, but vermilions have worms too.
Absolutely. When the water is really hot, all the fish get worms. When the water is cold, none of them really have worms. So just kind of has to do with the habitat and the temperature of the water that they're living in.
James says halibut sashimi, delicious.
Yeah.
Love it, man. Hey, my dad. I mean, I can remember my poor dad, who grew up in Ventura, by the way, was born up
Nice.
there in Oxnard, actually.
Mhm.
Every time I'd walk out the door as a kid to go fishing, he'd go, Philip, bring me a halibut, because it was his best eating fish. He loved that, man. He really, really
Yeah.
did. What the chances of catching a halibut? Hell, if you're seeing them down on the bottom, you must have a pretty good chance at a halibut or two up there now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna be trying for them every day. I certainly love when we have a few halibut in our counts. They're my favorite fish, so we're gonna continue to fish for them and try for them.
Dropper loop, is that the way to go for the flatties and the sea bass?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a dropper loop setup would be the way to go. If we fish sand bass or rockfish or something before, we'll have you guys set up some different way, and then when we make a move into the island, excuse me, our deckhands are gonna re-rig you guys and get you all styled out for the next kind of fishing we're going to be doing. They'll get your rods rigged up, give you another seminar, kind of explain to you guys what to do when you get a bite, how to get a bite, and what we're targeting. And We'll hopefully try to put some more fish in your bags. Give you guys some more variety, like some barracuda, bass, halibut, stuff like that's been biting pretty good in the afternoon.
How many rods do I need to bring on a trip? Two? I can get away with two, right?
You can get away with one, but
Yeah.
two's great. Yeah, if you have your own rods, I don't think you need more than two. Maybe something that can maybe something that you can fish like bass, barracuda with, and then maybe a slightly heavier rod to fish cod with. Something that you want to put a 16-ounce sinker on and drop to the bottom.
And for everybody who might be listening that needs to rent a rod, you guys have awesome rental tackle up there.
Absolutely. If you guys just rent a rod from our office and get a tackle pack, you'll have all the tackle you need and a rod that can get the job done for whatever we catch throughout the day.
All right, James says, what area are you in, Fred? San Diego or LA? So first of all, Daniel is in Ventura, out of Ventura Sport Fishing on the Island Spirit. And you know how many people call me Fred? A lot of people, and I don't mind. Because my last name is Friedman. So
Yeah.
I think they go like Fred or whatever. Anyway, I'm in the LA area, James, but I'm doing podcasts and jumping all around. So Daniel's the important guy here. He's up there in Ventura. So what else? You see anything else on the horizon? How about that coastal sand bass fishing? Any progress on that? Are you seeing that stuff on the beach?
Yeah, definitely seeing it. Yesterday, tried it in the morning. It didn't really bite as much. The water had cooled down like 5 degrees with the all the wind and the swell from the previous night. But I imagine that's something that's going to pop off in the coming days as well when the weather gets nicer and we get the warmer water coming back in. That sand bass is probably going to really want to die in one of these next few days.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Anything else that I failed to ask you before we get into how we can join you on board the Island Spirit and talk about Kids Fish Free on Sundays? Or anything else that you've seen up there that you want to alert anybody to?
It's about it. I mean, it's been super fun trips, super scenic, seeing all kinds of whales and dolphins and birds. Really cool scenery, fishing up tight to the island. It's a lot of nice picture opportunities, and been having a lot of fun. So ready to take you guys out.
Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. I was doing the morning briefing today and I was talking about you, and I had some footage of us rolling up on Anna Cap. And
Oh yeah.
as I started to lay that into the
Hmm.
video, I just looked at it and I go, man, that is one beautiful island. Really
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. Yeah, it's basically three giant rocks sticking out of the water, but a lot of life around that island, and it's super cool.
All right, good stuff. All right, so Kids Fish Free on Sunday. We've got that going on. Paid adult, kids 12 and under get to go for free.
Yep, we're going to be doing that every Sunday for the rest of the year. Still got room for this Sunday. Get a child ages 12 or under for free with each paid adult ticket. So still got that going on this Sunday and every single Sunday for the rest of the year.
All right, Mitchell wanted to know if we were talking halibut. Mitchell, good morning. We just did talk halibut, but if you have a question for Daniel, pop it in before we say goodbye. James says, any idea where the San Diego from Seaforth Landing is fishing? I would refer you, James, to my morning briefing this morning. Go check that out. I covered that in great detail, my friend. Daniel, if we want to get on board the Island Spirit, and after this, who wouldn't want to go? Um, how do we do it? Do we call? Do we go online? What's the best way?
Yeah, the easiest way is just to call the landing. It's 805-676-3474. We got a bunch of friendly office staff members that are happy to help you guys get a reservation. If you want to do it yourself, you could always go to venturasportfishing.com and select book now and click on the Island Spirit.
Saul is really friendly. Let me tell you, man. I love that guy.
Yeah,
That
he's a
guy.
good guy, and we talk to him all the time. He's always going to know what you guys need, what we're going to be fishing for. We'll be able to give you tackle recommendations, all that good stuff. So, any questions you got, you can call the landing and talk to Sal.
All right, good stuff. Mitchell says, Daniel and Phil, thanks for taking your time to always talk good fishing. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
We appreciate it, Mitchell. All right, boys. James, go check out that morning briefing. Hey, listen, everybody, take it from me. Island Spirit, man, so much fun. Great crew, great fishing, great times. You're going to have the time of your life. Go up there and join Daniel tomorrow or one of these days before the weekend's out. And Daniel, you have a great day. It's always good to see you, my friend.
You too. Thank you so much, Phil. You guys have a great day.
Take care, Daniel.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.